Hey everybody, welcome to a new episode of the Canadians. Now I got a good one for you. So today I'm going to be talking about Marvel and the MCU timeline because they officially released the timeline last week, but I couldn't get a chance to do it. I'm doing it today for you guys. I'm going to be explaining the timeline and if I think it makes sense or not. And some sad news that happened last night while I was at work. Netflix announced the cancellation of Daredevil, so there will be no Daredevil season 4. Alright guys, so let's start with the MCU and then we'll go on to Daredevil. Alright, so the first movie in this MCU timeline is Captain America the First Avenger, 1945, makes sense. The next one on the list, we can add Captain Marvel on here. It's not on the list, but we can add it. It would be Captain Marvel 1995. And then we got Iron Man, the first one, the original, in 2010. Then we got 2011, we got Iron Man 2, The Incredible Hulk, Thor. So in that year, that's what I can. Well, that's what people were saying that's Fury's big week of recruiting all the Avengers. So that's 2011. You got Iron Man 2, The Incredible Hulk, and Thor, the original Thor. Then we go on to 2012. We got the Avengers, makes sense. And then we get Iron Man 3, which also makes sense because it takes place during Christmas that year. Alright, so the only movie that we do get in 2013 is Thor the Dark World. Makes sense. Then we're going to go on to 2014. And 2014 has Captain America the Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1, and also Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. So we know Guardians 1 and 2 take place 2 months from each other. Makes sense. 2015. Now we get into some complicated territories when we get 2016. So 2015 we got Avengers Age of Ultron, makes sense, and Ant-Man, the original Ant-Man. 2016, now we got Captain America Civil War, and we got Spider-Man Homecoming. Makes sense because Homecoming did take place 2 months after Civil War. And then we got 2017, we got Doctor Strange, because if you think about it, when Doctor Strange was getting his powers, it did not take him like 2 months to learn his powers. It took a course of a year, so that makes sense. And then we got 2017, which starred Black Panther, Thor Ragnarok, and Infinity War. Now let's talk about this a little bit. Captain America makes sense. Now we get to Iron Man. We all originally thought that Iron Man took place 2008. So basically, when we looked at these movies, we thought it takes place the year they were released in. So Iron Man 2008, Iron Man 2 2010, Hulk 8, Thor 2011 makes sense. But when we look down the list here, we see Infinity War. Avengers Infinity War takes place in 2017. Now that has a little bit of a plot hole in it because when we watched Avengers Infinity War, when Tony Stark and Doctor Strange were talking, and Iron Man's like, Thanos has been in my head for 6 years. So if you go 2012 to 2018, that's 6 years. 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, that's already 5, 2018. So there's a little bit of a mess there. Black Panther, I'm also confused, and I thought it would take place in 2016 because it's right after Captain America Civil War, and Thor Ragnarok fits in 2017, and I can see why they decided to put Avengers Infinity War in 2017 because at the end of Thor Ragnarok, Thanos' ship showed up on their ship and started the takeover. I thought it would be the end, like December 2017, and then Infinity War was the beginnings of 2018. So we're gonna talk about Spider-Man now. Spider-Man here says it takes place in 2016. Makes sense because it was 2 months after Captain America Civil War. Now, when we watch the beginning of Spider-Man Homecoming, we get this title card 8 years later. That's a big plot hole. I understand Kevin Feige said they try to avoid using days and years because it kind of could mess up the stuff. And the beginning of Homecoming, when we see Adrian Toomes lose his job, salvaging the, the stuff from the Battle of New York. 8 years later, that didn't make sense because 2012 to 2016 is 4 years, right? Let's do the math. 2013, 14, 15, 16. That's 4 years. It shouldn't have said 8. If it takes place 2 months after Captain America Civil War, it should be 4 years later. But because it wasn't realistic and there's no way in 4 years you can build an empire by stealing tech from the government and Tony Stark, right? So I understand why they wanted to do 8 years. 8 years made sense because that's I I would assume is the right amount of time to build a proper business to get it to where it is. Yeah, everything else seems to match up. Doctor Strange is a year. That totally makes sense. I know a lot of people were complaining on the internet. Oh, why is Doctor Strange taking 2017? It came out 2016. Listen, to master a skill does not take 2 months, 3 months. It doesn't take 2 weeks. It takes time. If you really want to master it, it takes a long time. It could take up to a year to do. Now, Doctor Strange, perfect fit. Avengers Age of Ultron, fine. It's fine there because that's when it took place. Ant-Man also took place right after the Sokovia blew up in Avengers Age of Ultron. Thor: The Dark World, really no one really cares about Thor: The Dark World just because it had an Infinity Stone. That's it, guys. So I'll read the list to you again. So we got Captain America, the First Avenger, 1945 during the Second World War. We got Iron Man 2010, Iron Man 2, The Incredible Hulk, and Thor in 2011. We got the original Avengers back in 2012, Iron Man 3 in 2012. 2013 we got Thor: The Dark World. 2014 we got The Winter Soldier and both Guardians films. 2015 Avengers of Ultron, Ant-Man. And you got 2016 Captain America Civil War, Spider-Man Homecoming. 2016-17 you got Doctor Strange. And again 2017 you got Black Panther, Thor Ragnarok, and Avengers Infinity War. And also I did forget to mention you can put Ant-Man and the Wasp into that slot of 2017 as well because it was happening during the same time as Infinity War, same thing during the snap. Alright guys, that's it for the MCU official timeline. I'm fine with it. I really don't care. I'm just gonna go on when the years as it releases. Like if it releases 2018, it's gonna be 2018 because it makes more sense. And they kind of mess it up in the story, but I don't think that was their intent, and also in the dialogue and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's the MCU timeline. Now for the big headline that Netflix confirmed or released a statement last night on Thursday, because this is Friday and this is when the video is going up, that they have officially canceled season 4 or canceled Daredevil the series. Guys, we all knew this was gonna happen. They canceled Luke Cage, they canceled Iron Fist, and you know what? When they release the Punisher season 2, they're gonna cancel Punisher, and then they're gonna cancel Jessica Jones because based on their subscription count, those shows are not giving them what they want. And you know what? I think it's a good thing. Now they can bring those characters into the Disney Plus service. They can bring where they're going to put all their Disney movies and Avengers, Star Wars, and all that kind of stuff into that streaming service. And this can be hopeful. I don't want to get no one's hopes up, but now we can possibly see Daredevil with Spider-Man fight some crime, or we can see Luke Cage interact with the Hulk because the Hulk kind of broke Harlem in the original Hulk, right? So yeah, they can bring these heroes for hire in the films, and you know what? I'm excited. You know what? As much as I loved Daredevil season 3, thought that season 3 was one of their best seasons. I'm sad to see it go, but also I'm excited for the future because now Kevin Feige or Jeff Loeb or whatever can do, they can work their magic. Now they can bring them into the Shield, but I think they got renewed for one more season. I'm super surprised about that. I didn't think they would have got renewed for another season. But yeah, that's about it. So they can bring the Defender characters to the movies because originally in the early drafts of Infinity War they did have them in there, but because of story and they just wanted to focus on MCU characters, which the Defenders are in the MCU, but kind of on the like back end, like okay, you're there, but we're not gonna bother you, right? So that's it. So next up, this Punisher and Jessica Jones, and you got your Heroes for Hire canceled. And that's, like I said, it's good and bad. It's bad for Netflix because they're losing business, and also good for Marvel because now they can bring them into their movies. Alright, guys, if you guys like this episode of the Civil Canadians, hit the like, share, subscribe. Tell all your friends about this channel, and some major announcement coming on December 1st. Make sure you follow us on our Instagram page because that's where I'll be making an announcement. But the actual announcement will be January 1st, 2019. So we're going to get a teaser. I'm going to give you guys a little teaser of what's going to happen. And January 1st, 2019 will be the big reveal. Alright, guys. See you soon. Be good. Take care. See you next week or during the week, whatever drops. And I'm hearing little birdies telling me that the Avengers 4 trailer may drop on Monday, December 3rd. So fingers crossed. Alright, guys. See you soon. Be good. Have a good weekend.